just talent-wise, if you see the players that are in the squad that most fans and media were are predicting to have a bad tournament. So I think we're kind of getting a preview of what to expect from this Mexico side. That it can be very scrappy, and the contrast here that we can't ignore uh, was Mexico's regional rivals U.S. because they played the exact same. They also played Belgium and they also played Portugal, and they lost both games. I think 5-2 to Belgium and 2-0 to Portugal. And this was the opposite because for the US, it's regarded as one of the best, more talented squads with players in top teams. And we're kind of seeing the difference here.
Yeah, one quick note. So Belgium played against USA first and spanked them 5-2. And Portugal against Mexico, it stayed 0-0, a scoreless draw. Meanwhile, today, Portugal whooped USA's ass 2-0. So I know we don't like to compare ourselves to the U.S. men's national team. But for us to hold it down against Portugal and Belgium, I do think that's something to take note of, especially considering, that majority of the U.S. team is European based.
Yeah.
Something that is heavily criticized in Mexico. And so, I think, you really can't compare the two sides, and who knows if, the Belgium side. Go ahead.
The mixed media will do that. That's like, if we bring it up, because I'm with you, I don't like comparing. And a while back when the U.S. was beating Mexico, and I was saying on the pod, the U.S. has never been Mexico's benchmark. Mexico, regardless of how they do with the U.S., at the international stage, they've gone and achieved more. So it hasn't mattered, but the mixed media has always used that, because I think they just like to create headlines and just to create havoc. And, and the fans bought it, man. They bought it for a couple of years. You even saw people saying that Mex had to just burn it up to the ground and start all over again.
We have Rifado and Abdias also joining us tonight on the panel. Fellas, feel free to chime in. Welcome.
Buenas, putos. Pues, ¿qué pedo, güey? ¿Cómo andamos?
Drinking a Vicky's, trying to sort of reflect on this match. I really liked the first half. I really liked the Mexico that I saw. It was a glimmer of hope of, we might not get embarrassed at home. And then you see the second half, you're like, this is why we're in the doom and gloom, because we can't finish out games. But I don't know how you saw it, Abdias.
Pero, pues mira, güey, espérate. Antes que nada, mira, first question. ¿Qué pedo, güey? Chicken Little o no? Or are we good? ¿Se está cayendo el cielo? ¿Valemos verga? Like, ¿qué está pasando?
I think the thing is, we definitely thought that this team was a lot worse than it actually is.
I mean, this team looked a lot worse. If anything, today, I want to say this team overperformed compared to the performances that it's been showing us. Like, this team punched well above their weight class.
You know what?
What? They did it well. Fucking A, man. I busted out the Diddy oil.
I put it in the chat, man. I was semi-hard watching this team and the way they were playing and the gelling, the little like tiki-taka and stuff. And I'm like, damn, bro, this team is balling out right now. And it reminds me of high school tryouts, because you have your club team if you were playing competition. And yeah, you did have to do tryouts for that, but it was a little bit easier to get on that team. High school was the best of the best. And I went to a high school with over 3,000 students, right? So there was only a spot for 20-something kids. And I just remember, like, the last day, you get like maybe 2 or 3 days of tryouts. The last day, bro, everybody is putting it out off because they know you might get cut from the team, you might not make the team, but you go all out on the last day of tryouts. And to me, knowing that the next friendly we have isn't until late May, a lot of these players that were called up for these 2 games, they know this is their last chance for Aguirre to take a serious look at them, because we're going to recuperate some of the players that are injured. And I was impressed with the intensity that I saw out there, that they were combating, they were competing, they were contesting these balls. And I'm just like, holy shit. But can that be sustainable over the course of 90 minutes? And can they do it with the altitude and the heat that is in El Azteca and El Akron?
Now, hold on, really quickly. Why are we generalizing? Come on, man. He's got a name. And it's Julián Quiñones. Ese cabrón le metió huevos desde el principio del puto juego, güey. Y neta, eso es lo que le hemos estado pidiendo a la selección.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it later. Cuando los putos están en la televisión de que no, el aficionado tiene que ir al estadio a mamar verga. Tiene que ir para sobarle los huevos a la selección. No le metan presión. No, son un montón de pinches simios y que quién sabe qué. No, güey. Lo que queremos es una selección que juegue bien, que nos dé lo que estamos pidiendo. Y más que nada, güey, lo que cuesta el puto boleto. ¿Y sabes qué? Le metieron huevos todo el puto partido. Y eso es lo que quiero, ¿verdad? Muchas veces hablamos de que hay formas, de que quién sabe qué y de muchas pendejadas. Pero ¿sabes qué, güey? Lo que un equipo mexicano tiene que demostrar, sí o sí, son huevos, ¿verdad? Yo no quiero un pinche equipo que juegue bunker ball. No quiero un pinche equipo que sí goleó, güey, pero goleamos caminando. Me aburro. Quiero que se sufra un poquito, que el equipo ponga huevos, que me haga sudar el culo. ¿Cuál fue lo que hizo el equipo de hoy? ¿Verdad? Al fin se ponen un poquito turbias las cosas, se sufre, se siente bonito el partido, pero más que nada, como dije, güey, juégate la pinche playera.
Yep.
Porque si no, vete a la verga que no te quiero. Hablando de vete a la verga que no te quiero, quiero hablar, y vamos a hablar de eso después, ¿verdad? Pero el pinche cabrón de Raúl Jiménez.
A ver.
¿Verdad? No, güey, es que mira, los jugadores no son máquinas. Eso es lo primero y lo más importante, güey. Son seres humanos. Y tienes que tomar en cuenta el momento en su vida personal, no tan solamente la profesional, pero en su vida personal en la que está un jugador, o más que nada en la que está una persona. A ese cabrón se le acaba de morir el papá, güey.
Yeah.
No mames. Y te lo llevas a la selección. Were you guys watching him? He wasn't fucking doing anything out there, man. No le metía huevos, no estaba rompiendo líneas, no estaba haciendo nada.
Yeah.
Se veía perdido. Si algo, ese pinche balonazo que le mete Quiñones y el pendejo que hace, se lo pierde. Te enseña que, ¿sabes qué, güey? Este cabrón agarró todos sus goles que tiene con la selección de penal. Sí es cierto.
Nah, ya, bájale, ya pues, ya estuvo.
Perdón, güey, es que se me olvida, güey, estoy abusando de tu pinche minusválido.
No, look. I'll say this, right? I think in these games, it's always like the first half is always the realistic product, right? The second half, they make all these changes and all this shit happens, and it just gets, out of control. But the first half, they played very well. And Jaime, you mentioned it, the tiki-taka. I liked how they were doing the 1-2, the quick touches. That was great. But if you look at Quiñones, which Quiñones had a good game, in my opinion, Raúl Jiménez, to his role, he was having a good game. I think at one point, the team got out of control. They got out of whack. But even Brian Gutierrez, great player. He's playing at a different speed than, I think even some of us thought he would. But those players, once they get outside all three of them, once they get outside the box, they need to shoot. And that's why I didn't like that once they got
Yes.
to the box, they just started, instead of shooting, they would make one more pass, or they would try and put the ball into like a more comfortable position. Man, just shoot. And that was one of the issues that I had, and they all did it, from Quinones to Raul, Brian, and I'm sure there was some other people there that they just need to shoot.
That's a great call out, little
Hey,
hat trick. Welcome. I do agree with that. They played beautifully, and that final third, that decisive factor, they hesitate a little bit too much. Poquito crema en sus tacos, a little bit too much. And on the flip side, there was a sequence right before the end of the half on the Belgium side, and it was a quick long ball and a one-time shot outside the 18-yard box. It looked threatening. It went a little bit wide, but that is the difference between not just a top team in the world, but a European team. The type of speed they play at, the one-time, dude. You have to be able to capitalize on the one-time shots. A defense doesn't have time to set themselves. A goalkeeper doesn't have time to prepare for the shot. And with Brian, with Raul, with all the strikers, Quinones, by the time they like, sort of get ready to shoot the ball, everyone's already set. And it either hits off the goalie or off the defender, or they're not able to get the shot off. And I think that's the big difference between what can prevent us from going on a deep run. Is like, you have to capitalize on those chances. Look at what Giovanni Dos Santos did in 2014 against Holland. He just fucking didn't even think twice about it. And that ended up in the back of the net. And that's the thing that I want this team to improve on.
So there is a lot to improve on, but we did look really good. Like Lil Hat Trick said, in the first half, we were just killing it, and we dominated. Like in their half. So we pushed up the field, which is something we don't usually do. If we're playing possession ball, we usually have like a semi-low block, and we're starting real slow. This was the opposite. It was high intensity from the get-go. And you saw that with the first shot that almost went in by Quinones. And him and Brian Gutierrez were no doubt our best players. It was crazy how like they could change the game. They were so inventive. They could change the game on a dime. And when they left the field and we had Vega and Piojo, it was a world of difference. We were toothless. And so I think the difference between us and like a real dominating force in football is the depth. We don't have it. Like right now, we could have really used Lozano, Chucky Lozano,
Really?
someone fast off the break. Oh, hell yeah, man. Because like
Maybe
there was
Linus.
no threat. Yeah, Linus too. Like just there was no threat once the big dogs were subbed out.
Yo, really quickly, hold on. I want to jump in and throw in putazos on this one. I'm not sure what your love is for Chukwueze, but he's not what he used to be. Let's not forget, you are the guy who predicted a Canada 3-1 victory over Mexico. All right, my dude, like you don't have the hottest track record, and Chucky just ain't it. So you can stop the dick riding.
He's still fast as fuck. He's still
the
fast
other
as fuck.
one, he used to be, man. He's geriatric at this point, and he doesn't even train with the team. So you have to take things with a grain of salt. Now, really quickly, the Linus point. That one is the one. Linus could have been a good player for this match because of the intensity that he gives you. Y neta, wait, just the glow up that he's had since coming back to Mexico is truly amazing. His body physique wise hasn't really changed. What has changed is that now he's that fucking pit bull on the field que te está correteando todo el pinche partido. And you know what, güey? If you don't want to come a pit bull, call him a pinche chihuahua. ¿Sabes por qué, güey? Porque no te deja descansar y te está chingue y chingue todo el puto partido. ¿Verdad? And he won't back down. And in this game, if you notice, how many fucking not even tactical fouls, how many fucking dirty push from the back bullshit fouls was Belgium doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually surprised. I was really surprised how dirty, not dirty, but yeah, fuck it, dirty. Like, I was like, damn, okay.
Y el único
The
que enseñó
Hackfest.
huevos que se les puso al tiro fue Eric Lira.
And Gallardo in that first game against Portugal too. He fucking throw hands.
You know,
Pues,
there was one moment where Gallardo he intercepted a Kevin De Bruyne pass, and I was just like, damn, dude,
I know.
you're never gonna forget that. That's some shit he's gonna tell his grandkids probably.
know.
But this was a great litmus test, man. Like there was a lot of things we could improve on, but like, you know, it's really gonna shut up a lot of the fucking medios in Mexico who've been shitting on Mexico for like since time immemorial, like Feitelson and who knows how many others. But like there's not a whole lot to truly complain about. You know, there's things we could have done better, but all in all, what a great result.
There is a comment from our YouTube section. Bring disco back. Question: does Televisa lose control on choosing the players, the locations, the opponents when the TV rights expire, or will they stay when the TV rights go to the highest bidder? I don't know. I feel like Televisa's not imposing as many players as they used to. You didn't see Ochoa start. We barely saw Chiquito Sanchez. And Israel Reyes, man, what the fuck was he doing on that play where he ends up kicking it almost in his own goal, man?
Hey, but Fidalgo was great in both these games.
Fidalgo was great.
No mames, güey. In both of them?
Yeah, dude, both, man. He's a difference maker, man. I think he made a case for himself.
I will
Way
say,
better than Charlie.
I will say, in the Portugal game, it was kind of like under the radar. Didn't really. There wasn't anything that he did was amazing, but then you look at the data, it's like he had 19 passes without, what was it, like 19 passes, right? 100% accuracy.
Nerds. What did he do on the pitch? What did he do? What was the eye test?
Well,
No mames, güey. Like the
he didn't
numbers
give up
can
any
be
balls.
easily skewed.
Is all you care about like goals and assists or what? Like, what are you watching?
I'm watching the way the team plays, güey. He wasn't fucking transcendent. He didn't give me anything
he plays his
new.
role perfectly. The same way Raul Jimenez plays his role. Bro, like each player has their own roles depending on the system that they play. They're doing their role.
Yeah.
But not the role the team
He was doing the
needs.
dirty work, you know?
Well, we can't just underestimate the importance. If he had 19 passes, didn't miss any, that still helps the team, especially if you're like giving away the ball or putting your players in bad situations. So
Abdias, let me reframe it for you so you can understand. Him doing well means that it's less minutes for Charlie Rodriguez, and that's all we fucking want. As a fucking nation, we do not want Charlie
What
Rodriguez.
are you guys talking about, güey? You don't want another Cruz Azulino in there?
Bro,
Oh, I forget. You're calling for a Chivas only squad.
I'm just saying, the more Fidalgo plays, the less Charlie does, and that's what we want in the world, especially with all these injuries piling up, and it seems like Charlie is a lock. I rather
Diaz.
So then you want more foreigners on the Mexican team.
I rather have Fidalgo than Charlie in my starting 11.
That's what I'm hearing, right? More foreigners.
Diaz, in your heart of hearts,
And I'm a Chivas
you think
fan.
Charlie should be a starter?
In my heart of hearts, I think what?
Do you think Charlie's a starter or should be a starter on the national team?
Nah, I don't think he gives us anything special.
Well, there you fucking go.
But at the same time, then give me the domestic product. Why the fuck do I need un pinche españolito que me venga a hacer la misma cosa?
I like Lira. I do like Lira. There was a comment in YouTube. Lira over Edson? Question mark. Machín is gonna have a really hard time getting back into the starting 11.
Machín is jack shit, dude. He hasn't done jack shit in a long time, and he's been bad for multiple clubs now. West Ham, who booted him. The was it Fenerbahce in Turkey that also like kind of didn't want him when he got injured, and when he was playing, they bought like people to compete with him. So like, I don't know. He doesn't pass the eye test for me. He's not very good on the ball, not very creative, and he's not that fast. He's slower than Lira.
But we have to acknowledge
That's
that
the big one.
We have to acknowledge, aside from all the facts, like you guys are making logical sense, you have to acknowledge that Edson Alvarez is the poster boy for the national team. He's the captain. He's El Machín, right? And I know that at the first sign of him getting approved, like to be back on the pitch, Aguirre's going to go with him, regardless of all the other reasons why he shouldn't play. I know that it's his spot to lose, but hopefully, you know, the training camps and what we see in the upcoming months, it'll be evident that he should not be starting. Hell, I don't even think he should be going to the World Cup, to be honest.
I don't agree with that. But we have to see how he ends up recovering. We have to see that. But if he's healthy and he's in form, which again, big if, he should be the starter.
I don't know, man. Edson doesn't really offer much aside from his height. Maybe as like a center back, but not as a like center defensive mid.
That's where I see him. I see him over Montes. He wasn't exposed in this game particularly. Like I didn't see him, you know, shit the bed. But against Portugal, there was a few times in which he was just outgunned on the break.
Yeah.
Like Gonzalo Ramos was just way fucking faster than him, and that's always like, you know, a weak point for us when Montes is playing. He's slow as fuck.
He is.
I know he's tall. I know he's a good marker. You know, he's good on the ball. He has good ball distribution, but he's slow as fuck. I'd probably have Edson over him if you have to start Edson.
What's up, bros?
Welcome, Tomas.
You.
What's up? I have many thoughts, but what is I want to know how everyone feels about Mexico after these two games. I don't know if my opinion changes as to what they're going to do in the World Cup. That first game of Portugal, I think the player to me that stood out was Brian. Maybe it's the bias in me being from Chicago, but he's balling out. He's balling out and he's showing out. So there were a few moments in that Portugal game where it could have easily been 2-0 Portugal. I don't know if you guys saw that. There was a few mental errors that almost did not go the way of Mexico. But one thing I wanted to touch on, I don't know if you guys already talked about it, but the way that Mexico presented themselves in this first half and just kind of the overall composure that they showed in that Portugal game where they were playing almost, I know Aguirre seems to play the bend but don't break, or doesn't seem to want to win, go after it. But Mexico just plays with more confidence in the U.S., it seems. And I don't know if it's dire because some of these guys were trying to make the roster for the World Cup, or just coincidence, but it just seemed that way. Or maybe it's a matchup thing. Maybe Belgium didn't place their A team out there and they just seemed to fare well better in the first half. But overall, I think it was solid 2 games. It wasn't disastrous. Does it change my opinion on how Mexico will do overall in the World Cup? No, I think it's the same. I don't think they're going to embarrass themselves, and it seems to me that's what Aguirre is playing for. He's playing kind of like his legacy, if you will. I don't think he's really going out there to really try to win the cup. I think he's just trying to not embarrass the country. I don't know if you guys feel that way, but those are kind of just my initial thoughts.
Yeah, Tomas, I think after today's showing, my perspective of Mexico's outlook in the World Cup has changed. I really thought that we were going to be lucky to get out of the group. Now, after these matches, it's looking a little bit more accessible. South Africa today lost to Panama 2-1. One thing of note, South Africa's goal was an absolute scorcher outside the 18-yard box, and that is what we need to watch out for against them. However, having the home crowd in El Azteca, opening game, I think Mexico wins that game comfortably. Korea is not doing their best. They're not in the greatest form. And really the only team that is going to be challenging us is that final game against, now we finally have our opponent, the Czech Republic, who defeated Denmark today. So shout out to Czechoslovakia. And that is going to be the final game of the group match.
Cuidado, Jaime, you're setting yourself up for heartbreak again. You sound like the guy that just got over the heartbreak and he wants to love again, and he's opening up his heart. No, I get you. the group does seem more accessible, right? Like when we talk about the African countries, I would be much more scared if I were facing a Ghana, a Senegal, or even a North African team. South Africa doesn't seem to strike that fear in me athletically. You're right; they're not formidable. South Korea, that could be a bit of a dark horse. They kind of play with like they're not Japanese, but they kind of have the kamikaze mindset where they can fucking do some weird shit, crazy shit that you're not expecting, or you can blow them out. Czech Republic or Czechoslovakia, right? They're big. They're big and they're grimy, big people. So I don't know how that one's gonna play out, but it does seem to fare better at the moment. You're right.
What we won't see though is Mexico getting embarrassed. I think that was the thing that was on everyone's mind. You know, the doom and gloom, not having the talent, the quality players. But after seeing that they stepped up to Portugal, they stepped up to Belgium today, and like, okay, these guys were not going at 100%. Like, there is levels to this, and today I would say the Mexican national team was probably at an 80%. I think they still have a little bit more to give. I will say though, looking at it after the group stage, and once we, hopefully have an accessible opponent in the round of 32, in the round of 16, it could be like an England, or we finally get a European country that is going to be the litmus test for us. We shown today against the two top teams in the world that when it comes push to shove, like, we can't beat them. We can tie them. We can maybe drag this game on to overtime. Maybe it's a PKs, but we can't beat them. And I think that's kind of like where we are right now.
I want to answer the question asked earlier about Televisa and the contract. I think a lot of that stuff where they made it seem, the media especially, it's the amount of control they have over the national team, and it's been exaggerated, and it's in front of us. You can see it just by the things that happen. For example, at the start of the cycle, Televisa was not in charge of putting in the people. It was Iraragorri, puts in Coca and starts that whole process. So they weren't in charge of that. With the games, for the majority of the matches all played in the U.S., that goes through Soccer United marketing. So they bring in the games, and you even see how the U.S. will play the same rivals as they did this time, and they did a while back when each team played Korea and Japan. So I think this is throwback from like the 70s when it was more archaic, and Televisa did have more power, but at the same time they were the ones making all these moves. But it hasn't been like that for years. So it's interesting how how these some media or even fans still push this narrative. Even Ochoa, saying Ochoa, because he hasn't been tied to Televisa for years. He's been playing in bottom feeder clubs all over Europe. So they don't have that type of power. They're still very influential, but they don't have like an absolute power where they have the ultimate say. There's just the game that FMF with the owners play, and they're just very good at it. So they usually come out on top, but they've lost their fair share. For example, was it the Apollo deal? I believe they were at the forefront of it, and they got voted down because that's the other thing. Probably for another episode. It's ultimately going to be like a unification of the league, or even another network or company in charge of the national team, because it's going to bring in way more money. It's going to be one of those massive deals where everyone's going to win. It remains to be seen what happens, if Televisa holds, or if they all come together, all the club owners, and eventually agree on some type of deal, where it's you can see all these games on one channel and not all over the place.
I have a question for everyone, and this goes to our YouTubers. We have quite a few people on YouTube chatting with us. Out of these two matches, the Portugal match and today against Belgium, which player stood out to you the most, the one that surprised you the most? Is it Fidalgo? Is it Brian Gutierrez? Is it Quiñones? Or is it somebody else that I have not mentioned?
Brian, to me, he plays at a different pace, man. Like, I feel like from Chavez to even Marcel Ruiz, I never thought he was like a quick player. He kind of slows the game down, but Brian is just kind of like, he just goes for it, man. I'm honestly, I'm kind of mad that he went to Chivas, because I didn't realize he could be this good. He's playing like a vet. He's playing like he's been on the national team for years now.
Where
That's
the
the thing,
fuck
right?
did he come from?
He has like so much poise, right? Like he plays with like a presence on the pitch that you don't see. You just don't see for kids his age. So him, but also I don't know. Did you guys think that Gallardo kind of? Sometimes Gallardo's one of those guys that like. It's not until I watch him that I like remember like, oh, this dude's he's solid. Like he's serviceable. He's not great, but that's another guy that stood out. He didn't break any revelations or anything, but he kind of just reminded me like, oh, this dude's serviceable.
So in my opinion, go ahead, Father. Go ahead.
I was just going to agree with you, little hat trick, that Brian Gutierrez is probably the most surprising. He's not even a day in, day out starter for Chivas. And, Vasco saw something in him in spite of his lack of minutes, in spite of his lack of long time in, I didn't mean to say it like that, but he hasn't played very long in Liga MX. But in spite of all that, Aguirre saw something, called him up, and then he started for us in I know like a lot of outlets posted our formation as a 4-4-2, but it was more of a 4-4-3-3 with Quiñones starting out left and then going inside, and Brian doing the same but in the right side.
Yeah.
And so like we were so fluid, and this guy, he was just perfect for us. He was the missing piece in our trident, and for him to be so young and just so new to the Mexican soccer and just hit the ground running is just very impressive.
Yeah, I don't know where the fuck this guy came from. I don't know even who he was even a year ago. Chivas get him, and it's going to be like one of the best signings in recent time. And then all of a sudden,
he's from the south side of Chicago, man. O-Block.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. I mean, I don't really pay attention to players that play in the MLS, right? He's this weirdo from Chicago, and all of a sudden he's playing in his own home for the Mexican national team. Who would have dreamt of that a year ago? And he's fucking he's balling out, man. And I hope he makes the final cut. I'm sure Aguirre didn't expect him to like Aguirre's gonna have a hard time, man. He's gonna have a hard time picking 26 players. And I know.
I mean,
yeah.
Next thing you're gonna tell me is he was scouted at the local park by some English scout.
Who knows? But he surprised me the most out of everybody in these two games. And I will say, I do have to give my kudos to Quiñones, playing out of position and still like fighting, contesting balls, doing the dirty work, having to play really, again, not in his natural position, but that's where Aguirre's going to play him. And he's like, fuck it. If I'll be on the pitch, I'm going to fucking fight for every ball. And I think he's a solid pick for the World Cup. I don't think he's going to get that spot that Raul has. I think we're unfortunately going to have to play him wide. But damn, man, he actually surprised me.
He's oozing confidence right now, man. And like, he's one of the best players in the Arab League. And it shows, man. And that might not be the most competitive league, but, I would say it's more or less where Liga MX is. And so, his quality is just showing. And that was what really impressed me, was that he was tracking back and he was defending and he was hounding these guys. And so like this guy's all in. And I know he wasn't born in Mexico. I know he's naturalized. He came when he was like 18, 17 from Colombia, and he's been in the country ever since. And a lot of people, are kind of a little xenophobic about it, or they don't accept him. But I saw him play with his heart on his sleeve today, and I was just, this fool's Mexican. I'm counting him as a Mexican.
Absolutely.
Yo, really quickly, just to touch base on the Quiñones thing and naturalizado and this and that, right? The thing that sets Quiñones apart from everybody else is the fact that he's just not a naturalizado. He is a formado en Mexico. All right. He came to Mexico when he was underage. He went through the youth system through Mexico. Has a family there, all of these things. And now, most importantly, when Colombia came looking for him, he said, no, I want to play for Mexico. Mexico's my home. Mexico is the country that I identify with. This is where I belong. That, my dear good sir, is the difference. That is the type of player that we want, not somebody who's trying to get a free pass on a train that just so happens to be going to the same destination that they want to be.
Before we advance the conversation, I want to ask one question. So, Tomas mentioned Gallardo, and to me, Gallardo was like the best player at the last World Cup, which I mean, I do kind of hate on him. I really don't like him, but like, the game is the game. He's good, I guess. But I saw there was I think I forgot who said it. There was a reporter who said that Gallardo was Mexico's greatest left back ever. Do you guys agree with that, or is that kind of faded?
What position did Carlos Salcido play? Because whatever position Carlos Salcido played, that's our best fullback of all time.
Is it because he was banging los travesaños the whole time, or what is it that makes him so great?
Figuratively and literally. No, I mean, dude, come on. Carlos Salcido, that's like all star. You talk about like starting 11 of all time. He's got one of those positions, bro. He was so
Hey,
solid for
Salcido
us.
walked so Mbappe could run. All right, let's put some respect on Salcido's name.
Hey, man, you have to be fucking fearless to be willing to dance with Damas con Rama every night. Willingly.
Wow. It's crazy because Gallardo, we kind of like brush him off, right? He never went to Europe, but he has been a solid performer for the national team for a long time now. When was his first World Cup? Was it 2018? Or 2018, right?
I think he's Osorio's boy. So yeah. But he was a left winger, and that Osorio made into a left back.
So this is going to be his third World Cup. He's considered a veteran of the team, and I agree, man. Like he has been just a player that we can trust. And, he's 31, so he's not too old. I just don't like Jorge Sanchez. That's all.
I agree with that, bro. I was fighting with my dad because I was mad he scored. He's like, "Why are you mad?" I'm like, "Bro, because now he might start. Like this might put him over the edge, you know? Like I want Ledesma to start. Like I don't want this guy, dude."
I agree. Yeah, but Ledesma, even Aguirre admitted he's more offensive than defensive. So he could be a liability.
But pinche Jorge he can't do nothing.
Yeah,
can't do either of those things.
I know, I agree. But he scored today.
Fair, he's a physical asset. He's good off the ball. He knows how to pick up runs. He just can't cross. He never learned how to cross. Today he wasn't the hero we deserved. We deserved. He was the hero that we needed. A Batman quote right there. Commissioner Gordon, shout out, friend of the pod. But what's it called? He came in clutch for us today, man.
Yeah.
And he's like I said, he's good off the ball, and he's doing what we always advocate, or what I always advocate for Mexicans to do, and that's to play abroad, to play in Europe. And he went. He's in Germany. I mean, he's in Greece right now, and good for him. I wish it was a better league, and I wish it was someone else younger. but he's one of the few to go, and I have to give him props for that and for scoring today against the ninth best team in the world according to FIFA. The Devils, the Swamp Germans, Belgium, and so fucking kudos to him. And he was he probably solidified himself.
Yeah.
Vasco was always going to take him.
Yeah.
He's a consentido of Vasco, but here he eliminated all doubts, and fucking good for him.
There's a YouTube comment. We better not see Charlie in a Mexico shirt ever again. Charlie, man, what do they see in him that I don't, man? I don't know, man. I don't get it.
So what you were praising Fidalgo for, he didn't lose any balls, right? He had 19 passes. That's what Charlie does. But the difference between the two is that fucking Fidalgo will fucking create plays, like real clear-cut, clutch plays in the final third. Charlie doesn't fucking do that.
Dude, Charlie against Portugal gave the ball away, and Johan had to bail him out.
But we're talking about top tier opposition here, man.
Yeah.
Like us imposing ourselves like we do against the likes of fucking, El Salvador and Guatemala. The difference is night and day in the quality.
Yeah.
Mira, güey, te la voy a poner así, ¿verdad? Y no es de que estoy aquí defendiendo a Charlie y todo esto, ¿verdad? There was a moment where he had his hot run, right? He was hot, he was good, he was scoring goals.
For Cruz Azul or for Mexico?
Both. All right? You can't just gloss over that period.
I don't think Charlie has ever scored a goal for Mexico. If he has, it's very low.
He was putting in the work. Now, the thing that was always said about Charlie is that, and at the time we didn't have another player who could do anything like this, he slowed down the game, right? He was able to take the ball in the midfield and give you time to breathe and distribute the ball accordingly. That was his greatest virtue. That was what he did. That's what made him special, right? Pero aquí te lo voy a poner, güey, and here's where I'm going to give you the reverse card. As much as you hate Charlie and as much as you say all of these things, what about El Piojo? Because when El Piojo had his time in the sun was the exact same time when Charlie was hot. And they were both at Cruz Azul. When the trade happened, you guys were like, oh, we fleeced los chemos, que quién sabe qué. And ever since he joined Chivas, just hasn't been the same. Hasn't regained that level that he had at Cruz Azul. Why does he keep on getting called up to the national team?
That's an easy answer.
When his performance is the same one that Charlie gives you.
It's an easy answer because the reason why he keeps getting called up is because we have no other options, or Aguirre just doesn't like the other options. I do agree. I give you credit. We should be as critical as we are with Charlie. We should be with Piojo because, head scratching today. Against Portugal, though, a lot more respectable because he was recovering the ball. He was playing well defensively. But I agree. He's like Antuna, but without the goals, right? At least Antuna scored for the Mexican national team. Piojo doesn't do that. So, I don't know. I think it just comes down to we don't have other options, and that's why he continues to get called up. For me, Aguirre would be doing us a favor if he doesn't take Piojo, because then we can use him for winning the championship with Chivas. That's fine with me, but I know he's going to go to the World Cup.
I'm so happy that you follow it up with that, because literally my thought was like, yeah, way, because you look at this whole thing through the Chivas filter, and then with the cock in your mouth, here you go saying it.
Hey, I'm going to give you a statistic that's very, very depressing. You want to hear it? Charlie Rodriguez has more appearances for the Mexican national team than Hugo Sanchez. 67, 0 goals. Obviously, Hugo Sanchez was a striker, but Hugo had 58 appearances and 29 goals. That is a sad statistic.
Para que veas, güey, quién es más referente.
Bro, next time you're huffing that cement bag, fucking invite me, bro, because I need to understand.
No. I'm going to bring you this fact. I'm going to be like, you know what? Charlie, más grande en la selección que Hugo Sánchez.
That's crazy. We have some people in the YouTube section Abdias lying to himself. Never for la selección. Piojo sucks, but still above Charlie in la selección.
For the record, Hugo took the selection to a Copa America final. We
For the
also have to
record,
keep in mind
Hugo
that
is the reason why we lost in that World Cup, porque se puso sus pinches berrinches y dijo, si no me
96,
juegas,
94.
si no me
94.
juegas de delantero, no juego. And guess what?
What about
A
what about Luis
mamarla.
Garcia? Luis Garcia getting sent out on a stupid card.
Would you
Pero
agree?
¿quién se puso el pinche berrinche que dijo, si no me juegas de
both.
delantero, no juego?
I think it was both of them too.
No
I think,
mames, güey.
Yeah.
¿Ves, güey?
He
¿Ves?
he
Pinche
he took him to
apologist
do
take on history,
no,
güey. No mames.
not so much for Hugo, but Mejia Barón, because Belgium went Belgium. What
Is
is
it
it?
¿Sabes
Norway?
qué,
Bulgaria.
güey?
Oh, no,
¿Sabes
it's,
qué?
Bulgaria go down a man.
Bulgaria.
They went down a man. They went down a man, and he, instead of doing cambios and being more aggressive, he kind of sat back. So he choked too, and we could probably talk about that later about how
Sí,
many
güey, mira,
times
mira, mira, mira.
coaches
No,
have choked in that important game.
no está Ron, ¿ok, güey? No necesito recuerdos en Technicolor. Like, no mames. We don't need to go down this route today. Let's stay on the task in hand.
Hey,
La selección de hoy.
what did you guys think about Ant-Man, Hormiga Gonzalez, over these two games?
Made my cock hard, bro. Like, so fucking hard. Wait, no se cagó. Entró al estadio lleno y no se cagó. Lo único que sí, no sabe mantener los ojos abiertos durante un cabezazo.
Yeah.
Pero
He
pues,
missed the sitter against Portugal,
I
which
wouldn't
was
say
disappointing.
I wouldn't say it's a sitter, bro. That's a little bit more complicated than it looked on TV. Yeah, but I will say he puts that goal in the back of the net. We win that game against Portugal. This dude's getting bought by somebody in Europe. It's it's like that commercial, the Nike commercial where they're at that climax of the game and he either puts it away or doesn't, and the rest of his life goes a certain direction. Hormiga, man, he was centimeters away from scoring a massive goal that would have boosted his career. And I do feel like that is the metaphor of him getting snubbed from the national team. That's the rumblings that are happening now. It's most likely that he will get knocked off the pecking order. It's going to be Raul. It's going to be Santi Jimenez. It's going to be Quiñones. And it's probably going to be Berterame.
I don't know. I liked him, man. In both goals, despite a goal, which would have been great, especially against Portugal, like you said. In spite of that, he broke lines and he pinned the defenders back, and that's good. Like I don't see Berterame doing that as well. Memote obviously not going. Raul Jimenez, that's not his game. Raul's gonna come back and receive the ball from the midfielders. He's not really gonna break the line. He's not gonna be in on goal and beat him on a foot race. That's going to be more Quiñones. And then Ant-Man, when he comes in, he's going to start doing that through the middle. And I think that's a good change of pace. I think it throws them off balance. It wakes up the defense like, oh, fuck, we can't commit ourselves as much going forward. We have to be careful. This guy's fast as fuck. And, we gotta have at least two guys on him. So I thought he was good tactically. And so I want to see more of him. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw more of him, and he so much so that he goes to the World Cup. I don't think he had a bad 2 games, and I'm not 100% sold though that he's going, but I'm like 60% sure, maybe close to 70.
Yeah, I don't know why Aguirre waited so long to do the substitutions. I wish he would have done them at halftime. Give him a fair shake, and I like Abdias mentioned, Raul is not mentally all there. You just lost your dad. Sit this one out. Get Hormiga. Give him a chance, man. I don't know, man. I want him to go to the World Cup. He deserves to go to the World Cup. He offers a lot more than Berterame. I think Berterame made the wrong decision going to Inter Miami because he hasn't scored yet. So it's gonna unless some injury happens, unless I don't know. Maybe Santi gets re-injured again. Who knows? He's just coming back from a fatal injury. I don't know.
You know what's really funny, dude? It's the fact that all of this is sounding very reminiscent of last World Cup
Yep.
with Santi Jimenez when we were having the conversation of take him and give him the experience of a World Cup. Let him get that experience under his belt, because what's one of the biggest things that we say about players every 4 years? Oh, they don't have the experience. Se van a cagar. Necesitas a la gente de jerarquía. You need to have had this process. Well, when does this process begin? Right? Right now, what does Berterame give you that Hormiga doesn't?
Seniority, experience. That's about it.
That's about it. But like, realistically, then the question is, how much are you going to use Berterame?
Exactly.
Right? Because then the line is going to be in how much are you going to use Berterame? And is Santi truly healthy? Right? Now, something really quickly that I would like to point out. One of the, well, not even one of the things, but part of the press conferences that Vasco has been having, it kind of sounds like a little apology tour that he's doing, right? He's talking about how the team isn't quite where he wants it yet, but they're working towards it, that they've been hit heavily with injuries, and that the team will be ready once the players are healthy and ready, and that's going to take up until the final moments to determine where the team stands. Meaning, he's still waiting on a large piece of the roster. So players like
Gil Mora,
players like Huescas, possibly Chino, like those guys coming back in
Luis Chavez.
and being able to fucking steal your girl, even though you've been like el vato de, like the back of the house has been laying the groundwork because she's a waitress. You know, like all of this shit's gonna happen. So veremos qué es lo que termina al fin.
That's the thing, we're going to reincorporate Edson Alvarez, Luis Chavez, Chino Huerta, Rodrigo Huescas, Gil Mora, Santi Jimenez. That's 6 players. That's a lot. That's a lot of players that you're expecting to get back. But then you also have to realize these guys are not anywhere near the form that the current crop of players are in right now. But if you pull them from your clubs on April 30th, does it end up being a wash? Because you're taking these players that are in rhythm, playing week in and week out. You put them in a training camp with players that haven't been playing. And in the end, what do you get? You get a team that is basically at the same level because you fucking took everyone's momentum away. And you put them with all the cripples. So, I don't know, man. There's still a lot to factor in between now and, the World Cup. But I do think that coming out of these 2 matches, Aguirre is going to have a problem on his hands. Because I'm sure he had an idea of who he was going to cut. But I think today's performances by certain players have made it a lot more difficult to leave out. I think Brian Gutierrez was not going to be someone I expected to go to the World Cup, and who knows?
He snatched chains. That's what he did.
He might have, but at the same time, did you see that toma from right before a corner kick, donde lo están pendejeando and they're just like pushing him around like a little kid? And you can see it in his face when he's like, well, like kind of the same thing that Dita did to Hormiga in La Liga. Lo estaban pendejeando and he's just like, yeah, fuck it. Right? Like, they're going to push me around. They're going to do all this shit, but I'm going to keep grinding away at it. So it was both a beautiful moment and something that reminds you of like, damn, he's still new.
I'm excited about some reinforcements. Rifado mentioned it earlier where he says we need more depth, which I agree with. And I think that depth will come in with some of the players that have been injured and haven't really been featured recently. And to be honest, I mean, shit, anything will be better than Orbelin and Chiquito Sanchez. Like, get them the fuck out of here. I've seen enough. I hope.
Orbelin had a good game. Orbelin had a good game.
No, mames. Come on.
Orbelin
He
played
combined
okay.
so
He
well.
played
He
okay.
played well. Combined real well with Brian Gutierrez.
We've seen him. We've
Yeah,
seen him
bro, I
for
don't know
like
what you're
10
talking
years
about.
now. Like, it's done. It's over.
And he's been one of the better players.
Nah, I disagree with that.
Like,
I don't
what
think.
the fuck do you mean? Wait, every single time that we need like a
No.
spark, it's Orbelin.
A spark. What does he give you goals? He doesn't. He was a different player at Cruz Azul. He was a good player at Cruz Azul. He had
Chivas,
like more. He had more goals in less
played
games
deep
at
for
Cruz
us.
Azul than at Chivas.
He was in
Now-
a double pivot for Almeida for us during that.
Now,
time.
here's the other
He was
thing.
deeper.
When no esta última Copa Oro, pero la pasada, he was the most impactful player on the pitch, the one that we did under Jimmy. We watched that one. This following one, la que acaba de pasar, he was on there, but I think he was coming back from injury. So he wasn't as impactful. Like, no mames, güey. The hatred for Orbelin, I don't understand that one.
Me neither.
A lo mejor porque
We
está
agree on
chaparrito,
this.
prieto, hace ese pinche bailecito que se ve medio joto y pendejo a la misma vez. Like,
Here's the
I'm
thing
not
with-
sure what it is,
Here's the thing with.
pero
with-
he's a good player.
I'm gonna call it what it is. He's a run of the mill player. Orbelin isn't something that stands out to you. He's a solid
Run of
player.
the mill.
He's a
Give
solid
your
player.
Chivas all that glory and you're calling him run of the mill.
No, I'm
Damn,
just saying.
Jaime.
I'm saying.
Cold blooded.
I'm
He's a
saying
Swiss
for the
Army knife.
national team. For the national team, you put an Orbelin, you put a Chino in. It's like the same fucking thing, bro. It's like there's a lot of those players. It's not like he's transcending on the national team. Take him or leave him. He's not an X factor. I think that's where Lil Hattrick is getting at.
Like, I would take Luis Chavez and what's the other and Mora over him, for example.
I don't know about Luis Chavez because I haven't really kept up with his career since he went to Russia, and I know he's injured right now. But I think
He just came back.
I think he's a one-hit wonder. I think 2022 scoring that goal against Saudi Arabia. I think that's it. I think that's all we're gonna get out of him. We have a lot of midfielders.
So you were saying something about how like taking them out around the end of April, how it like there's no upside to that. I disagree. So oftentimes, international football is rendered to like really defensive, pragmatic styles, and it's because players have they don't have a lot of time together. They don't have a lot of time together, and that's why when teams that like have national teams with players like with all one club, like Barcelona when Spain won it in 2010, like they're playing some crazy ass shit because they have a familiarity that other international teams don't have. So I, for one, think that the concentration is great. It's good, and it's going to have these people familiarize themselves, and that way we can try more complicated things like we saw today. Like us playing as protagonists against someone like Belgium is a very complicated thing. And you need to have trick plays. You need to know when to fucking do the tactical fouls. You need to know who needs to slot in for who because they attacked and they lost the ball. Like it's very complicated to play this way. And the more time this team has together, the better they'll be at it. So I definitely see an upside to it.
This might be a dumb question, but once the end of the month comes and they call up the players, are they only going to take the players that are going to the World Cup, or they're going to take, I don't know, like 36 instead? Like, you know what I'm saying?
So
Like,
I know Aguirre has to send a
40.
preliminary list of I think up to 50 players. I don't think all 50 are going to be pulled from their teams, but it's a preliminary roster. You can't call up anyone if they're not on that initial list.
because to me that's the only way it makes sense is for them to have squadras, like, because otherwise if you're just having the 26 play, I mean, you might not even be able to have like a good side,
Scrimmage.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you guys not remember the last World Cup? They took a practice squad with them as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but it
so,
was
esa es la otra
after
cosa, güey.
the season ended, no?
Well, it was
Well, 'cause
it was in the winter time.
it was in December.
Yeah.
That's the way it lined up. It was weird. Pero acuérdate, se llevaron a un montón de pendejos para estar repartiendo la madre todos los días.
Yeah, and how did it go in the World Cup? We didn't get out of the fucking group stage.
Mira, güey, de que son pendejos, okay? Like, I'm not here to argue that fact.
Well, it went like it goes all the time. One win, one loss, one draw. They got eliminated on goal differential. For a few minutes, LMX was already in the second round. So I think Mexico's been pretty consistent, at least at the World Cup stage. They haven't been thoroughly defeated since '78. So I think there's some kudos for Mex because very few teams have stayed, have been able at least to keep that, that level. We're seeing it right now with Italy. Their last two World Cups failed to get out of the last two World Cups they attended. They failed to get out of the group stage, and now they just missed their third straight. So they've been cheeks for 20 years. Kind of hard. That's so difficult to think. 20 years too, man. That's even more surprising.
Dude, it's
Bro.
not even that just, bro, because they're European champs. They won the Euros against England, I think, in the final.
Yep.
Okay.
Cheeks for years.
Hold on. Let me reframe that picture for you. Okay. So you go from being a global powerhouse to winning the World Cup to sucking dick to magically being great again to block England from winning the Euros and then go right back to sucking dick.
I know.
Well, and then to add like some to that England defeat. England hasn't won shit since '66.
Yep. England is probably the most overrated country outside of Mexico. Like, I think like the passion that England brings. I think Mexico and England are just like, you know how they have like sister cities? These are like sister countries, man. Very similar circumstances.
It's just it's a beautiful story of just inventing sports to suck dick at them. And that's what England excels at.
Oh
all right.
God. That's crazy. There's a yeah, go ahead.
It's like England, like they invented like every country, almost every country in every continent for spices, and then they don't even use spices in their culinary.
There's a comment for Joel. It says, Joel, it's tax season. Release them. I want to see how much money Televisa pays you.
Oof.
Zero, man. Zero.
They clearly haven't been around long enough to listen to Ron.
He does it for the love of the game.
He does it for the love of the game. Oh, hey, we still have one more spot in the World Cup. Iraq and Bolivia tied 1-1, 50th minute in Monterrey. And hey, these is it Iraqis? I don't know what the proper term is. They were wearing fucking cowboy hats, and I hate to say it, man, we look a lot like them, bro. Something,
Hey,
bro. They were the long lost cousins. Like, I saw the videos too, and I was like, wait. That's my primo from Apodaca.
Bro, that's my
no mames.
That's my primo from Iraq, bro.
But looking the fan turnout in Mexico, because there was the other games from Bolivia and Caledonia and all these, and the Mexicans have been turning out for these games. And it's like, bro, Mexico should have just hosted the whole World Cup because they've been bringing this ambience that's been missing for a good while, man.
Yeah, so I was watching the game with my neighbor, and his cousins are visiting from Guadalajara. He's a season ticket holder for Chivas, and he says that these games that were hosted in Monterrey and Lacron, they were heavily discounted. I think they were like $10, $20, like super. They just wanted to pack these stadiums, and yeah,
as it should be.
The attendance is incredible, man.
Plus, you get the real fans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and these are weekdays, man. I mean, this is a fucking Tuesday in Monterrey.
Yeah, man, it's been fucking beautiful to watch. Like one of my favorite things is all of Mexico has chosen to support Iraq.
Really?
Yeah. Mexico's Iraqi tonight.
No love for Bolivia?
No love for Bolivia, and that's one of the things a lot of Twitter was like.
Wow.
Well, like the Pocho Twitter was like, it's unbelievable that Mexico is choosing to go for Iraq instead of like Latin American love.
Yeah.
Little do people know, this whole like Latino hermano, like amor y vibras y quién sabe qué, this shit ends once la Copa del Mundo starts.
That's true.
Copa América and Copa de Oro si vienen.
Oh,
unos
shit!
cuantos.
Iraq just scored!
Shut the fuck up, Jaime.
And having been on their heels,
Pinche culero.
back in front.
You're right, Diaz.
Iraq just scored 2-1, 52nd minute. You called it into the universe, Diaz.
He willed it, but I agree with him. Once the ball rolls, the hands start flying.
Los putazos, man. Oh.
Ahí está. Me acaba de caer, güey. Pero no, sí, así es la pinche vibra, güey, en Latinoamérica. Like, somos amigos, somos buen pedo y todo, güey. Pero cuando se viene al fútbol, me pelas la verga y voy a hacer que sufras.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm all for it. I'm all for having Iraq make the World Cup. And, you know, what's funny is that Mexico fans have been preparing for these partidos moleros for such a long time, thanks to the Friday matches. The Mazatlan versus the Querétaro, the Tijuana versus fucking, I don't know, Juarez and shit. Like, we've been watching these fucking games for years on Friday nights because there's nothing better on. So we've been preparing for this moment in the World Cup. Like, yeah, fuck it. I'll go watch Congo versus Jamaica on a Wednesday or on a Tuesday. Fuck it.
Hold on. So a couple weeks ago, maybe a month at this point back, we had Habibi come in here with one of the hottest takes I've heard in quite some time. And it's the fact that, what is it? Arsenal is a CIA psyop to see just how much pain you can inflict on people before they decide to choose to commit suicide. I believe that FIFA has been running psyops in Mexico con Viernes Botanero to see just how poor of a product they can put out there and still get people behind them.
Oh my God, that's fucking hilarious.
And now we have a 36-man team.
I want to know what the attendance was in all these matches, but it looks incredible out there in Monterrey.
Akron was sold out both times. Monterrey has been putting in more attendance than Rayados does in their own stadium. Like, dude, Mexico is hyped for these games.
Yeah. It's a damn shame that we didn't get more. We should host the whole goddamn the World Cup, honestly. Like, we deserve it. Azteca deserves to be the first stadium to host 3 World Cup finals. Fuck New Jersey. Fuck that, dude. The final should be in El Azteca.
We should have brought Los Europeos. Like, we should have done a proper, like, qualifying tournament on World Cup soil. Like, fuck going to, what was it, Bosnia?
Yeah.
Today.
That should have been here.
It should have been here.
Yeah.
Like, primero, güey, espérate. I know we've talked a lot about this, pero ¿sabes qué me ardió los huevos un chingos, güey? Un puto chingos fue que los pinches pendejos de la Federación Italiana tuvieron los huevos de estarse quejando de las instalaciones que tenían en Bosnia.
Oh, dude.
De que no,
They deserve
que no
to
son
lose.
dignas y que quién sabe qué. ¿Sabes qué, güey? Si quieres hablar con los huevos bien puestos, como que si eres la gran cosa, pues entonces califica como the rest of the fucking big boys. All right, don't go to a fucking playoff, al repechaje, y que a lo mejor los otros resultados te convengan. No mames, güey.
Oh, that game was over before it even started. When I saw them complaining about the locker room, like the quality of the facilities, I knew they were not mentally there to go to the World Cup, and they deserve to be eliminated.
Yeah, man. Honestly, all that I could think of is that, like, what is it? Locked Up Abroad, that fucking meme of like, it smells like bitch in here.
Yeah, man. If you can't handle a cold night in Bosnia, are you gonna be able to handle the altitude in El Azteca or El Acron or the fucking oven that is Monterrey?
Which, speaking of it, really quickly, did any of you guys hear the reports coming out that the Portuguese camp was experiencing signs of altitude sickness?
I heard about that.
Heard about it. I thought you were going to
Headaches.
mention the sacrifice that went that occurred, but I guess
Shit.
we'll get to that.
R.I.P.
in a
Oh
bit.
man, I have this written out beautifully. I'll let someone else break the news. It was beautiful.
Hey, I mean, the hit tweet that day was there was more deaths in El Azteca than goals that night against Portugal. Sadly, a fan lost their life. Not sure what they were trying to do, but they died.
I know exactly what they were trying to do. I have the fan's name written down.
Oh shit!
I did some research on who this guy is, and it's fucking beautiful. All right, so my dude, I can't remember his name right now. You know what? There's no reason to bring even more shame to his family than what has already happened. All right, so my guy here is a 27-year-old lawyer from Mexico City. All right, my dude gets to the stadium. He's already drunk, right? There's reports the person who went with him has openly spoken about this. So he was already drunk, even though that at the first set of gates to start getting into the Azteca, they had breathalyzers, and they were breathalyzing people.
Oh shit!
To see if they were able to get into the stadium. That was one of the security precautions that they had. So homeboy is there already cocked, manages to get past the breathalyzers, gets up to la zona de palcos. So let's just refer to it as the second level in the stadium, right? He goes there. Once he gets to his seats, he realizes that, oh shit, I gotta go take a piss. As he's working his way down to get down to the lower level where the restrooms are, he sees that there's a wicked long line. So therefore, with some liquid courage in him and armed with a 2-bit fucking law degree, he says, ¿Sabes qué, güey? Instead of going down the ramp or down the stairs, you see this exterior support column? I'm going to climb down it.
Oh my God.
I'm going to take this column down to the lower level. And once I'm there, I'm going to spider monkey my ass from this column to the lower level. El pendejo trató de brincar de la columna
Oh my God, dude.
hacia la plana baja. He fell 47 fucking feet.
Oh shit.
And died instantly.
Whew.
17 metros es lo que está reportado.
Oh my God, dude.
It's coming home, bro.
It's coming home.
Like, honestly, at this point, you sacrificed a fucking Americanista because there's no one else who has like that type of brain capacity. At your grand reopening, that's it, guys. It's coming home.
Hey, in the past, we've had to sacrifice players, but now we had a lamb. We had a fan. And historically accurate because Aztecs used to do the same thing. So if it means that we get to hoist the World Cup trophy this year, then his sacrifice was for the gods.
It was well worth it. But here's my thing, man. And I think we're going to have like an apocalypto moment at some point in the World Cup. Because let's not forget, the RG sacrificed the Pope.
Oh, that's right.
So Christianity contra, pre-Hispanic colonialism. A ver qué es lo que pasa.
Shit. Yeah. I think we have to be sort of grateful about our current situation in Mexico, because you look at Italy, bro. That could be us if we were in Conmebol. Who knows if we go to the World Cup if we're in Conmebol? But because we're part of CONCACAF, we get to go almost every year, or every 4 years, rather.
Ecuador has gone. You don't think Mex would be at that level? They've beaten Ecuador. They've beaten Ecuador at the World Cup.
I'm just saying, like, it's a lot different to qualify in CONCACAF than it is in CONMEBOL.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think Mex can compete with the majority of those teams.
Not in 2014.
Well, it's different being over there, because they kind of adjust to this region, but and that's what sucks of not having the Copa America every so often as they used to be, because we would see how Mex would match up against a lot of these teams.
Yeah, pero
You know,
es
going
otro
up against
pedo
Chile.
jugar en Copa América que jugar qualifiers, bro. That's a fucking
Yeah,
whole
but
other
they
beast.
take it as serious too, though.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, having to play in Bolivia or play in fucking Chile or play in,
But that's
Argentina.
why, yeah. But see, they've been to those stadiums.
They have,
So
but
like Mex is one of the teams that the fucking altitude in Bolivia doesn't fade them.
no, I understand. I'm just saying it's a different beast entirely. And yeah. We're lucky we're in this region.
No, güey, no, espérate. No dejes que el pinche anciano te pendeje, güey. No mames. Bolivia nos jugó con el pinche mercy rule on. They didn't take us all the way up where they've been taking every single opponent during World Cup qualifying. All right? They didn't take us to the
Which
fucking
stadium was
fortress in
that?
the sky.
Yeah,
Which stadium was that?
we didn't play in Santa Fe. We played in like Santa Cruz or some shit. It was like sea
No,
level.
güey, tienen otro que juegan todavía más alto.
Yeah, I know. It's like the one that's like where Argentina lost, right? They lost like
Yeah, that's where like towards the end of this qualifying cycle.
Yep.
That's where they were taking all of their opponents.
Yep.
They're like, all right, cool. You want to come here play with us? You think you're tough shit? This is our field.
I think they invited us for the inauguration or the reopening of a stadium near the coast.
Yeah.
Or not the coast, but like near one of the.
It was sea level. It was
sea
it
level.
wasn't. Yeah. Yeah, es otro pedo jugar en Perú, jugar en Bolivia, jugar en, these countries instead of like just, Copa America. It's typically hosted in one country. So it's different, bro. It's different. I think we would have a really hard time qualifying for the World Cup and Conmebol. I mean, you look at Chile, right? Chile's not going to go to the World Cup.
Hey, wait, speaking of which, are you watching this shit right now?
Yeah, I am.
Se están desplumando, güey. Bolivia isn't able to take the heat that there is right now in Monterrey. One of their players just collapsed to the floor. They're doing an advanced hydration break.
Dude.
Might as well be Afghanistan, bro.
It's crazy because this happened earlier with the referee in the Jamaica game. They had to sub out the ref. He fucking collapsed.
And he killed a good fucking 20 minutes, dude.
No, it was like 10 minutes.
It was fucking forever, man.
It did take a lot because they didn't know what to do.
Fucking reggae boys. They me agüitan los reggae boys, man. They have like so much to work with, man. Like they're part of the Commonwealth, the British Commonwealth. So it's really easy for them to go to England and play in the second division of the championship, and then even the Prem League, Like they have no business being in this qualifier. They had no business losing it to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, which is currently in a civil war. These
Wow.
fucking guys, like, yeah, they had no business beating the Jamaicans, and they did, man. And they fucked them up like in the first half of the extra time, and they were unlucky not to get a second one, man.
Yep.
But Jamaica, dude, just in an organization that's just in the dumpster. And they have this guy, I forget where he plays, and I forgot his name, but he plays in England somewhere. And you can just see the frustration on his face. And there's
Bailey?
been shit before where like some of the players,
Is
yeah,
it
Bailey,
Bailey?
where they
Yeah.
don't want to go or they complain about going. Yeah, or they complain about going to Jamaica because it's so disorganized because they can't even fly you out, you know. And so it just sucks, dude, that like this team with a lot of promise, and I kind of have a soft spot for them.
Yeah, Bailey has
And
gone
what's
on.
it called?
He like refused to go because he was so pissed off about the how like the basically it's like corrupt, man. Like the money that goes into the program, like it just goes to like the higher ups, and they're not seeing any of it, and it's like the quality is really bad. Like you talk about like
I think
Jaime,
they're trying to
the
put 'em in
facilities and
economy.
stuff.
Jaime, you might be able to bring a little bit more light into this, but do you remember who it was that he was talking with? It was because I remember this exactly right here. It was a podcast that he did where he talks about why he's not going anymore, why he's choosing not to go with the Jamaican team. The one thing that I remember the most about all this is that as a true Jamaican, he is wearing a mesh button top during this interview. Like he's wearing those like semi-tinted glasses, mesh button-up top, and like shorts, like looking full Jamaican.
Yeah,
Pero yeah, no,
he
it
said
was a
that
fucking mess.
Yeah, he says lack of professionalism. He had to book his own flight, no equipment, no communication,
No
and-
security for him. That was one of the big ones where it was like, yo, when you have a player like me, not to say that I'm like all of these things, but when you have a player of my caliber, you think that you would have security or something like that. Instead, we have people who are running into the pitch in the middle of practice trying to take pictures with me. We have like all of this fucking shenanigans surrounding the team instead of being able to fucking lock in and focus on the task at hand.
Yeah,
you know what's crazy?
He
is that I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, just real quick. He was asked to go to the Copa America and he didn't go for that reason. But go ahead, Rifalo.
So the crazy thing is Jamaica's not even the worst offender. You know, like El Salvador had like a coup something like 20 years ago where the players are like, yo, you got to start fucking paying us, man. It's been too fucking long.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, like you have a Cameroon, man, a few years back, they had to have Samuel Eto'o pay from his own pocket for the whole organization. He had to fucking foot the fucking bill for the indomitable Lions, man. And that's just like, can you imagine that? It'd be fucking laughing stock.
Wasn't that one of the ones where like Warner straight up stole the fucking tournament money? Like the Federation took it all.
Cameroon's in Africa, man. But
oh, sorry, wrong ones.
I know in El Salvador they were stealing that fucking money.
Like there was a bunch of like recorded cases where like literally what you're saying this happening where the Federation just takes it all, and then se desaparece, güey.
You know, it's crazy. I don't know why I thought Jamaica had gone to more World Cups, but they just been to the 98. That's it.
Yeah. Now, really quickly, I'm surprised that Joel isn't in here with a dick full of arrogance and just rubbing that shit in our face. No, que Jamaica iba a ser el próximo gigante, que quién sabe qué, que they were on the up and CONCACAF. This is your time, abuelo. Come in here, pendejeanos.
Nah. I'm good, man. Yeah, they had their chance years, but man, you're going far back. Diaz, you be getting on me for going back. As Jaime said, they haven't been since '98, and it was around that time. when they had all these players in England. But and you guys were, just to tie it in, you guys were talking about some of the money that was being stolen, and FIFA was giving money at that time to a lot of those federations from Central America and from the Caribbean to help them with installations and a lot of other fees. And I guess it never found its way where it was supposed to. So yeah, that sucks on that end.
Hey man, Curaçao is at the World Cup, bro. They're probably gonna use that to fucking as an excuse to steal even more money or funnel even more money to these small countries.
Well, they're probably getting some now. I mean, because tomatoes cost money. You have to bring in good coach, some good, a whole squad training, the manager and coaches and all that. So they probably found some money. What's Curacao? A colony of who are they with? France?
Netherlands.
Oh, the Netherlands. Shit.
Yeah.
So it's Suriname and Curacao that are tied to the Netherlands.
Yeah, they have.
Shit.
Do you guys think
is their
as
debut.
a whole? Yeah, do you guys think that as a whole, CONCACAF is stagnant or just like not showing well at the moment, or maybe just overrated? I'm looking at Canada, USA, Jamaica. It's not looking great.
Yeah, I mean,
I think,
to no surprise.
but also like the sport, it's what I think. I know people are saying it's gonna be cheeks because you have all these like minnow teams, but I just think the way the sports has become, and more physical and more tactical, I think games are gonna be a bit more even, and you're gonna see some of these newcomer teams being more scrappy and putting on some good fights, giving a scare or two. But like for the region, I don't think uh, it probably doesn't look as good as it probably has. It's not that bad. Like it's overall not that bad. I do think the media they blew a lot of smoke up our ass when it came to Canada and the U.S. And I kept saying, well, what have they really done that have surpassed Mexico? Just having players in Europe doesn't mean they've done better as a national team. Where they've won, like Mexico won an Olympic gold, won a Confederaciones, and it's like all they did was just have more players abroad, and the whole media and Mex was already, saying how Mex was being left behind, and now World Cups are around the corner, and these countries aren't looking any better, nowhere near what we were sold.
I think the the real story about CONCACAF is Piojo's failure with Costa Rica. How the fuck do you not get them to the World Cup?
Seems like they were a mess, though. I think when he came in, they were already a mess. And I think they didn't want him there as a Mexican. Seems like there was a faction there that just didn't want that guy. The one that hurt me more was
Guatemala.
What's his name? Tena, man.
Guatemala.
I do think overall he did a good job, and he put them in a good place. I think if they continue their path, they could start putting in a bit of better fight. But they choked that first game, man. At home against the Saudis, they're bitter rivals. I think if they had won it, I think that they would have just barely made it.
So in our region, Mexico has the most World Cup appearances with 18. USA has 12. Costa Rica has 6. Canada has 3. Honduras has 3. El Salvador has 2. Haiti has 2. Panama has 2. Cuba, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, and Curacao all have 1.
Damn, 3.
In an expanded World
0.
Cup, though, we didn't get to see Costa Rica. That's a damn shame.
Or Jamaica, man.
I know.
Or Jamaica.
Or
Both
Jamaica.
these teams, man.
But more, for me, it's more Costa Rica, man. I mean, the fact that historically they've been respectable at the World Cup, and I mean they got to cuarto de final, right, not too long ago, and to be coached by Piojo and Terfeo, I mean that's nasty.
Yeah, but if you saw that team, bro, it was sad to see that team. They had like 40-year-old players there. Hey, I don't know what happened. They failed to build from that success of 2014, and they sort of been on a downhill ride ever since. So, I mean, maybe it would be good to bring in some people that can give us this is cine, man. It's it's a good horror cine flick.
Yeah, so from CONCACAF, we're only going to have 6 participants. The 3 host countries, Canada, Mexico, USA, and then Panama, Haiti, and Curacao. Yeah, so 47 spots are secured. And Iraq is about 13 minutes away from securing the last ticket to the World Cup.
Haiti is the team that I think in their first, so it must have been what, 74. They score on Italy, and I think Senga had that record. He hadn't been scored in I don't know how many games. Like a massive record, and they fucking Haiti of all people, man. So I think we're going to see some surprises like that.
Yeah, I think the CONCACAF teams are the lowest ranked in the world that are going to the World Cup. They're definitely,
Damn.
I think,
Are they good?
yeah. Curaçao's ranked 81st. Haiti is 83rd. Yeah, dude. It's crazy. Well, I think these matches were surprising and pretty happy with the litmus test. We're going back to our regularly scheduled Liga MX program on the weekends, and then we have CONCACAF Champions Cup returning next week. But yeah, the next friendly for Mexico won't be until Memorial Day weekends over there in Pasadena, the Rose Bowl. So a lot can happen between now and then. I'm curious to see what happens a month from now.
Jaime, earlier you mentioned that you don't think we're going to get embarrassed, but I was just thinking about it, and I'm like, man, I really hope that we play like this against everybody and not go down to like the level of our opponents like we usually do. That's what I'm scared of, because if we start doing that, then I don't think we're not going to do anything.
I agree.
Wait, guys, I don't wanna. Just really quick, because I'm correcting myself. It wasn't Senga, it was Dinosov. His record was 1,142 minutes, bro, without conceding a goal.
Damn.
I don't know how many games that is. In fucking IT. Fucking IT scores on them. All right, carry on. Sorry, let's carry on.
Yeah, Luhachek, you bring up a good point. Obviously, against teams like Belgium and Portugal, you're going to ball out. But I will say, like, the opening game, it's in El Azteca, you're in your home. I think Mexico will sustain that level of performance, if not exceed it. And they'll probably get a quick goal and take that monkey off their back. And, no, I don't. The thing about Mexico, the group stage, is they've never really concerned me. It wasn't until 2022 where that streak broke. But always in the group stage, we find our way. We find our way out of it. I think we'll be okay. It's just like after the group stage. Can we win the group? Can we have an easy opponent in the round of 32? And can we get to basically the Quito game, which is round of 16 again? I think we get back
to
the
round of 16. Are you guys nervous about Mexico playing in Mexico City with that crowd, or do you think the crowd will be mostly fresa internationals and it'll be like a pleasant environment without the booing?
Yeah, I didn't get that. I didn't understand the booing. I didn't understand why the fans were upset. I think Mexico played a respectable game against Portugal. I do think bunkering for like the last 10 minutes at home, it is a bitch move. But you have to understand it's Portugal, man. It's not like we were playing against fucking, it's like they could have easily beat us with better finishing. I mean, you saw what they did to the US today, 2-0. So I didn't like that, but it's good that the players experience that because it's a reminder that, hey, at any point, man, we'll fucking turn on you. It doesn't matter if we're hosting the World Cup.
That's been a stick-up for a long time, though, man. That's kind of been it. It's like these Mexican fans, they sort of shoot themselves on the foot. They put these high expectations on the team. They want them to play better than they actually are. And instead of helping, also probably the difference, from the RG fan. They're more supportive overall. And these Mex fans, man, they'll do it for like 10 minutes. And then if they don't like something, they turn on the team right away. But it's like, where's your part of it? Where's you trying to push this team to defeat its rival? Now you're just very cangrejo. You're just helping the rival.
And the fans have every right to boo because those tickets were expensive and they did do a rug pull on them. Like they marketed the game.
Damn right they do.
They thought Ronaldo was going to be there. They paid the $1,000 for these
you
tickets.
Do it all right. Yeah, you do
Y
it all right.
aparte, güey, no mames, el producto en la cancha. Neta, güey, ¿se merece el precio?
Well, then don't pay it.
Fuck no, it does not.
So
Okay.
That's right. Don't pay it.
So then,
don't go.
pero todavía se hacen el dinero, güey. Entonces, ¿qué? Si pago mi pinche feria, ahí estoy, no estoy satisfecho con el producto. ¿Qué puedo hacer?
Yeah, but you're not going there. Is the whole La Puente quote. If you want to be entertained, go to the circus. That's kind of
entonces
it.
entonces quieres que vaya al estadio nomás para desmadre, ponerme pedo. Entonces quieres que vaya a hacer lo mismo que hacen los pochos aquí en los Estados Unidos.
Now it's understanding also who you're playing and what's the team situation. I mean, this Mexico team hasn't been at a top level for years. And then to go and then expect them to perform a certain way, it's unrealistic. It's like, it's like I buy a car and it's not a Ferrari, but I want it to go, I want to compete with a Ferrari and then I would be pissed off at the car, because it's not, it's a V4 engine.
But if they're selling me the car and they're telling me que vale lo mismo y todo lo demás que un pinche Ferrari, entonces ¿qué chingas estoy haciendo?
So I hated the comments about how they were complaining about being booed because the audience, the crowd, the fans, they don't owe them anything. Like these guys are rich as fuck. They're being brought in, flown in, pampered, fucking adored, and if they don't like them, then fucking they have every right to fucking to yell and to boo them because they paid good money. And it's a free country, and I don't know, they just sound so entitled when they complain about it. Like that's too much for you to handle. It's like, dude, you're rich as fuck.
Hey, was that? Yeah, Rifado, I don't know if it was you that posted it or maybe I got by AI. I saw a Memo Ochoa quote that he mentioned that if they get booed, he will not participate in the World Cup. I don't know if that was some bullshit.
Bro, that's AI. Come on, dog.
Antuna did go on record saying he's retiring from the national team.
Okay, just putting that out there was almost went full boomer there. Thanks.
I think that one was fake too, Antuna.
Yeah, I think the Antuna one was fake too.
Look at the flip side though, right? Let's play devil's advocate. Would you rather be the fucking United States where you fucking sold out Mercedes-Benz Stadium, got fucking ass raped, and the fans don't do anything? The fans are like, good job. They fucking celebrated that second goal like fucking pathetic losers. Like they fucking won something. They were getting their shit pushed in. It was 5-1 at that point, and they celebrated the goal. Do you want that? No, you don't want that. You want your fans to be like, well, fuck you, man. We paid a lot of money for this shit. You guys are not producing. We're gonna be the first ones to let you know this isn't good enough.
Yeah,
Now,
but what
while I
happened?
understand, now keep in mind, before we get too testy and too pissy, the United States has a cuck problem. All right? That's why everyone on the stands loves to watch a good fist fucking.
Yeah, they've been getting cucked by us for so many years.
But it's also how you see the team. So, for example, the way I see my team is like if it's my boy throwing hands and he's getting beat, I'm not gonna start booing him. I'm gonna start trying to hype him up. You know. So if you're booing him, then
you're gonna hype him up. Yeah, man. Take
So
that
under
shit.
that logic,
my boy that's
Joel,
fighting.
you're like, dale mi amor, take 5 more dicks. You got this.
No way, just get up, man.
Amorcito,
Hey.
mira los
Stick and move.
deslechados.
You're gonna be a
No way, tampoco.
damn, bro. You're getting fucked up, eh? You should do something about it.
No,
Damn,
no.
Chula, you can really take that.
Damn,
dick,
bro.
huh?
You can use some help, huh? You can use some help. Not me, but fuck, dude.
No. I don't know what kind of fights you guys be watching.
Pinche cochino, güey. Puro pinche cockfighting.
I'm just saying, like, would you want a fucking
That's a good enemy.
bitch ass crowd and like the American team that are gonna support their team regard? Like, no, dude. Like, the Mexican fan is entitled. They're entitled. And look, they made a big fucking deal about this stadium getting renovated. That we're gonna bring a Ronaldo. That it's gonna be a world class stadium, historic stadium. You cannot miss this match. And then you get a fucking 0-0 result. Like, I understand where the fan is coming from.
But that's the same fans that were expecting Mexico to lose, and to get beat soundly. So at this point, there's just no appeasing them.
There is, man. Mexico can play good like they did in the first half today, man.
Yeah, but it's taken a while, but you have to work to that. That's why the whole criticism of they've gone 5 friendlies, that's a bunch of bullshit. I kept telling you guys, probably the only one. You were buying all that hype,
Pero, güey, no mames, güey. Es como dije al principio de este programa, güey. La cosa es las formas, ¿verdad? Y qué es lo que quiere cada mexicano de su equipo y más que nada de su selección. Que enseñen la cara y que metan huevos, ¿verdad? Si yo, espérate. Si yo me estoy endeudando para venir a verlos, güey, porque un puto boleto vale 3 veces más que el sueldo de la persona común en México, ¿verdad? Por lo menos quiero que vengas y que te partas la madre en la cancha.
Exactly.
Ahora, cuando estás ahí ninguneando, no estás presionando ni estás corriendo por los putos balones, ¿qué chingados quieres que te diga, güey?
Yeah, but the team wasn't that like that.
Yes, they fucking were.
No, they
Last 10 minutes were ugly,
No.
bro. Last 10 minutes were ugly.
Even then, when you guys were talking about, like, you guys talk about the first half, that it was great, que quién sabe qué. Wait, también no mames. Mira el pinche producto. They weren't breaking lines. They weren't trying to push forward. All that they did in that match was go out to not lose.
Yeah, but because the rival's better.
De ese partido.
Because the rival's better.
Fue, vamos a salir a no perder. No vamos a ir a tratar de presionar. No vamos a ir a hacer nada de eso.
We came out swinging, man. In the first minute, Quinones almost scores a fucking goal. The whole first half was majorly played in their half. So we had them on the back foot. And that's great.
Nothing was dangerous. While
crazy,
every
bro.
single time that they had possession, they kept fucking hitting our box.
That's cement glue, dog. Bájale, pa.
No mames, güey. También acá with your rose-colored glasses.
I do
like,
think
if anything, I'm just giving you the realism of things.
The second half was a lot different, and I didn't like the way we finished out. We closed out at home.
Now, the other thing, let's talk about it. El pinche estadio es una mierda, güey.
Yep.
No mames. You know what they did? They squeezed 50 pounds of shit into a 10-pound bag. That's what they did. All right? They made the seats a lot tighter. They made the egress in the front rows fucking worse. If you're at pitch level, you can't see the fucking pitch. Like, there's so many things wrong with the stadium. They still don't have doors on the restrooms. There's fucking open holes in the restrooms. When they were talking to the construction crews outside of the stadium, they were saying, nah, bro, there's still a fuck ton that needs to be done.
Wow.
We're not going to finish it in time. Like, this, what they're showing you right now, this is just fucking makeup on a pig. Like, we're not done.
Lipstick.
Didn't someone jump to their death at the Azteca?
Yeah, we just
That's
talked
how
about that.
shitty it is. A lawyer decided to kill themselves.
I will say, man, for all the amount of time that they had to get ready for this, they did a piss poor job. It doesn't even look different. And, you know, I can't speak to El Azteca. I've never been there. But
the pitch looked good, though. The pitch looked healthy.
the pitch is fine. But I think, like, for the amount of time that they took to, you know, rebuild it and redesign it, it looks exactly the same.
Oh,
Hey, man,
and hold on.
They rehabilitate the grass, dude. We're good.
Yeah, that is a very important thing. Now, really quickly, I do want to bring in some chisme because I've been keeping my ear to the ground. And okay, so let's keep in mind the whole fucking drama that happened with El Azteca, right? The reason why work on the stadium got delayed and hubo putazos, legal putazos, and all of these things, right? And it was because of the owners of the palcos. When Estadio Azteca got sold, it got sold with perpetuity rights to the people who bought the palcos.
Yep.
Right? Meaning every single event that you have there, you're going to have access to your palcos. Se chingó. When FIFA rolls into town, they try to privatize that property and say that your whatever contract, whatever agreement that you have with the stadium itself is no longer valid. Bueno, los dueños de los palcos del Estadio Azteca dijeron, no, güey, me mamas un huevo y me das mis pinches palcos. After a long, fucking tedious legal battle, it has been officially decided, or it had been, it just wasn't made public knowledge, that the palco owners are able to keep their palcos in Estadio Banorte or Estadio Azteca. The big thing and the settlement that they reached was that if you want to hold on to your palco, if you want to use it and you want to do all of these things, not a problem. You have access to it, but you need to buy the food and beverage package from FIFA. There's no ifs, and or buts about it. And I think they're saying about, I heard the numbers in Spanish, so it's either 100,000 or
Pesos?
like dollars, USD.
Shut the fuck up. 100K?
Like, for food and drink in a palco.
For one match or for the whole tournament?
For one match.
Oh, hell no.
Bro, these people are rich like
man.
that.
That sounds like, no, that's ridiculous.
That's a lot,
That's a
bro.
lot, bro.
That's the whole shakedown.
I thought, like, pesos, like, I believe it, but dollars,
Well,
dog?
what kind of bottles do they have, man? There's some expensive wines and shit.
It's whatever palco you have, bro. Wait, you fought FIFA tooth and nail to get your fucking your box, all right, to have your suite. And now they're telling you, cool, you can have it. The thing is, you have to buy all of the food and beverage from us. And it's not like you can be like, oh, okay, cool, I'm going to use my palco without it. No. If you want access to your palco, you need to buy this food and beverage
package. If they don't, then what? They're just going to sell the spot to someone that's...
Yep.
well, you know
it
what?
goes down as you forfeiting your palco.
Because they come with like what they have like a bartender, and then they have like an actual cook in there, right? I believe.
Wait, have any of you guys never been to like the suites?
Oh, I've been to the
I've
suites.
seen.
I mean, we have catering, but 100,000, no mames.
Yeah.
Wait,
no,
para la
much,
Copa
bro.
del Mundo,
That's
and
too
you
much,
get
man.
all of your shit?
I don't believe
Wait,
it.
si un palco tiene hasta
Dude,
de 7 a 10 asientos?
The hospitality tickets, I was looking because it was like for Mexico, Korea. I think it was like it was less than 50 grand. I forgot how much it was. It wasn't
Did
that
you
much.
did you guys not see the food prices that were posted for Estadio Azteca?
I think it's like $15 for one taco.
And the 250
Hey.
pesos.
Wait, you saw a taco stand in there? Because when I saw the pictures,
It was like
all
Panda Express and
yeah,
fucking
Panda,
These
Nathan's hot dogs.
Subway and fucking.
hold on. For the
How did Subway
record,
get in there, man?
for the record, the prices that were released were the ones for the hospitality, for the suites. All right, esa fue la carta que se funó.
They definitely have like, I don't know, 4 or 5 at the very least local people. So like it's not all, you know, fucking commercialized or fast food joints from like America.
Yeah.
There's some homegrown shit too.
I'm just curious what kind of beer they're gonna serve, because I know historically FIFA has been sponsored by Budweiser, and that'd be fucking weird to have Budweiser in La Azteca.
Huh?
By the way, it's the 97th minute. Iraq is desperately trying to hold on to this lead. Bolivia is pushing though.
And Bolivia has gone to a World Cup since '94. Iraq, what was it? Maybe 70?
Has Iraq been to the World Cup?
I think because there was a was it in 70?
Oh,
where one of the-
1986.
86, and I think the Sheik goes down to the field because some bullshit happened.
They lost all games in Mexico.
It's crazy if they qualify in Mexico to get back in there.
Lost to Paraguay, lost to Belgium, and lost to Mexico. Yeah, the Palco situation is fucked up, but man, it's gonna be one of the most expensive World Cups ever.
Hey, Jaime, I tried linking some of the pricing that was made available for those hospitality suites into this recording of the podcast.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to link it. I want to see if you can do it from a desktop. But if not, at least read that and read off some of the prices.
Yeah. Sir. They have. Wait, is this in pesos or this is pesos, right?
It looks like pesos.
So we have popcorn for 120 pesos. We have tacos al pastor, 230 pesos. International sandwich ribeye, 220. Beer 6-pack is 600. It's not too bad, bro. It's not expensive.
So that's $13 for one taco al pastor.
Really?
Yeah, that's 230 pesos.
But again, you're thinking
what's
in
the exchange
wages
rate right now? Hold on.
About 17.
Oh,
also,
shit.
hold on. Breaking news. Los hermanos iraquíes van a la Copa
Wow,
Mundial, putos.
they did it.
Nice.
Los hermanos iraquíes. ¿Qué les dije de los pendejos de Bolivia?
Players, but you get emotional because you can only imagine what is going through their mind. Their families back home, the people back home, the city. What a job he's done, the coach, and what a moment.
Wow, 1986, last
A
appearance.
World Cup, which
They're back, baby.
Assalamu
Jeff
alaikum.
Gaston, they're gonna do
Salaikum salam, my dear good sir.
$30 for a 6-pack. I mean, dude, it's the World Cup. What do you expect? It's not bad.
yeah, but in Max, dude.
Bro, la
Bro,
gente,
The one
la
taco
gente,
is the family of
mames,
5
güey.
meal.
La gente
In Max,
popi.
this pricing was setting the world ablaze as soon as it was announced.
Yeah, because that one taco price, that's the whole KFC family
Who goes
meal
to-
deal over there.
All right, who goes to the fucking World Cup to eat tacos, bro? You eat that shit outside.
I mean, you're drunk as
My
fuck,
dear good
dog.
sir,
Come
you're-
on.
I'm not fucking leaving my goddamn seat unless it's to
you're
fucking get
speaking
beer.
like the bourgeoisie.
Bro, when it's the World Cup,
Yes.
I don't want to miss any of the action. I just want to drink beer, watch the game, and that's it, bro. That's it.
Do you want to shout Garcon while you're there too?
I'm just saying.
Jaime's talking like a schmuck who's never had a butler.
No más Garcon. Just so you know,
He
wait,
rings a little bell.
if they're dark enough, you can call them the help.
I went to the Clásico last year and I didn't have to leave my seat the entire time. They bring you the fucking everything you want. You just they're out there putting in work.
Maruchan.
They'll fucking
At the
Did you buy a
Estadio,
sopa?
at the Estadio Caliente, they bring you the famous star, Carl's Jr. famous star, right to you, dog.
Shit, yeah. What more do you
No.
want?
Yeah, right
Did
there.
you
dude.
order? Is that what you ordered, Riff Raff?
You just have to
Hell
hold
yeah,
your
man.
piss though. That's the hardest part. You gotta hold your piss. Don't break the seal at the game. But yeah, folks, we're at the 2-hour mark. I think we've had a good discussion. Optimistic about the national team. We'll see what happens, because
sir.
a lot can change health-wise for some of these players. Some players will fall out of form. Some will come back in form. Maybe Ormega continues to dominate the Mexican League and makes it impossible for Aguirre to ignore him. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Chivas will play Pumas over the weekend. That's what I'm looking forward to. But gentlemen, I want to give you guys your opportunity for closing thoughts.
I'll go first. And I'm going to give, last pod I gave my flowers to Militron. This one I'm giving them to Aguirre. I think since he arrived, there's been a lot of detractors and a lot of stuff that was being said of him before he even got to work with the team, and a lot of stuff that's been disproven now. He said he was going to go with an old squad, that he was going to prefer the Chavorrucos, and he's been giving a lot of youth or younger players. Right now with Ala Rangel, I mean, Ochoa being left in the bench. There was a stat that came out maybe like a week or two ago of one of the coaches that's taken the most young players to the World Cup, and it's been Aguirre. So I think it's dispelling a lot of myths about kind of coach he is, and that overall he wasn't gonna bring much to the team, and I think he just showed it because Mexico playing against Belgium and Portugal holding their own and even in putting them, against the wall. It to me, it shows that Mexico is capable of causing a surprise or two, especially as hosts. And I think that was one of the main things for bringing him, because I think they figured he would be the type of coach that could squeeze more juice out of the players, and then just give them that type of confidence. While the team was getting in the last minutes, Belgium was the more dominant. But one thing I did notice, Mexico was really scrappy, man. They were still like throwing kicks to get the ball and whatnot, and that's a positive in my book. So I think Aguirre, I hope he does well, because this will be his last World Cup. It's going to be at home where he played as a player. He was in '86, participated in a goal. He gives a pass to Hugo, who scores. So I think it was against Belgium too. Yeah, we'll have to go back. But yeah, it'll be good to see that. I want this team to do well, and for the next cycle with Marquez to continue off of that.
Sounds good, Joel.
Oh, hell yeah, man. I'll go next if that's all right.
Yeah.
So my closing thoughts, I've already given my praises, or we've already heard Joel give his praises to Vasco, and deserved for sure. And I've already given my praises to Quinones and the Chirac kid, Brian Gutierrez. Phenomenal work. Lira, a little lower profile, but had a great game. Of course, Jorge Sanchez with his goal. I know we have a lot of criticism for him, but he's a consentido, but Vasquez So and he played good today, man. He got the only goal for Mexico today. So kudos to him. Gallardo looking good. Like I said earlier, he intercepted a pass from Kevin De Bruyne that would have just destroyed our defense. And, like that's something that he'll probably talk about to his grandchildren 20, 30 years from now. It's like, oh, one day I stopped a pass from Kevin De Bruyne. And not a lot of people can say that, man. So kudos to him. But I wanted to focus on some of the guys that didn't see a whole lot of minutes and I don't think will continue on. People like Denzel Garcia of Juarez, Everardo Lopez of Toluca. He might make it, but I don't think he's going to see a whole lot of minutes. Richard Ledesma, I would have liked to have seen more of him. We had someone in the chat, our group chat, talk about or laugh at how 5 or 6 players from Chivas were called up, but very few of them played, and or the ones that didn't get a whole lot of minutes. So Hormiga didn't get as much minutes as I would have liked. Piojo didn't start today, barely got any minutes. Ledesma didn't play at all. So that's kind of worrying for their chances. Someone like Denzel, Everardo, Richard Ledesma, like they haven't featured a lot for La Selección. And you would think that, if there was a chance of them making it, they would have, featured more during this window, and they hadn't. And so I think that tells you that their chances are kind of drying up. But, there's still a few friendlies left. We'll see who gets hot, who steals a spot. I think Hormiga is a shoo-in. I think who else? The Chirac kid is a shoo-in. I think Obed Vargas is also a shoo-in. And very, very young guys, those 3 that I named. So, very hopeful for them. And hopefully they get experience this time around. And like some of the other panelists were saying, for the next one, when Rafa takes over, we'll have these kids blooded, right? With 1 World Cup already under their belt. Those were my closing thoughts. Thanks for having me. Appreciate you all. And good shit, Mexico.
Thank you, Rifado. Looking forward to your Jóvenes rundown next week as we return to Liga MX.
My closing thoughts are that first half, it left a lot of good feelings. I really enjoyed watching them. It's been a minute since I feel like I've seen a Mexico that was kind of dangerous and, kind of leading the way in a sense. Instead of, usually I just feel like they play to their opponent's level, and it could be a good thing when they play against good opponents, and it could also be a bad thing when they play against an Honduras or something like that. It left a lot of good feelings, and I'm excited for the future. I'm excited to see which of the injured players come back and are able to make it. I just feel like this new blood. Brian came out of nowhere 6 months ago. Like who the fuck was he, right? And it really seems like he just stole a spot. I feel like he played well enough to, I think, be a starter, especially if Mora isn't able to come back to form. And I'm just like, I'm fucking enamored with that guy, and I hate it because he's a Chivista. But I'm like, yo, like this dude he looks like the real deal. He played at a level that I just didn't think, not that he couldn't do it, I just didn't expect it to happen right now. And shit, I'm at that point where it's like, yo, hey, fuck it. Chivas are doing well. Let's bring the base. Let's bring Cotorro and Ledesma and Hormiga. Let's take Romo, bro. I don't care. Piojo. Let's take them all and let's weaken the roster, right? Let's make sure that they get the Liguilla and they gotta use some of those bench players they got. But I don't know. They just played well, and I'm excited to see who else joins, and hopefully we're able to reinforce the starting 11 a little bit and get a little bit more depth. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you, Hatrick. Really appreciate your contributions tonight. Abdias, you still on?
Claro que sí, cabrones. Pues bueno, I think I'll be the one closing this up before, our grateful host here. So really quickly, my closing thought is about this phrase that I've used before, about this thing that I've mentioned before, and it's inflar el globo, ¿verdad? Y la razón por lo que quiero hablar de esto es porque en este momento los medios están haciendo justamente lo que los medios hacen. Están empezando a inflar el globo. Están empezando a darnos esas notas de que no, Si vas al estadio a abuchar a la selección, no eres mexicano, no es como se debe de apoyar a una selección, no tenemos para más, and all of this false hope that is slowly and nonstop pumped down our throats, right? Now, the reason why I bring this up and the reason why I want to talk about it is because we have to be worried about this. All right. Every single concern that we have had about Mexico didn't magically go away because, according to some, we were able to play 2 very good first halves. In my opinion, we played 1 good first half over the last 4. So, with that being said, just keep in mind what the expectation is. Don't buy this whole false narrative that we are better than what we are, that we are improving, and that the outcome of this World Cup is looking better than what it did just 3 weeks ago. No, senor. Let's not sell false hope. Let's keep our head on an even kill and let the people know what is happening, where it is that our selección stands, and what it is that we can truly hope for. Aparte de eso, hasta la próxima. Like I said, right now, I'm not going to do a track report. We just had Japan. Suzuka was a fucking mess. The most interesting thing that happened wasn't even the Ollie Berman crash. I suggest that you go in and look up the Porsche race that happened right before the F1 race. The F1 race was delayed by about 2 hours because there was a massive crash when the Porsches were out on track. Suzuka doesn't offer much of a runoff area, and a fucking Porsche went airborne and flipped over the barriers. Luckily, there was nobody dead, nobody injured, but yeah, that's what happened. Now, during this month-long break, it's not a war. It's a quick operation, right? So there's no war going on in the Middle East, but we have to stop F1 racing because of this quick operation, and we will resume in 1 month's time in Miami, during which time I will be working on this breakdown. Porque wait, this season the regulation changes, and what I had written before and the way the teams shake out is completely out the window. So I'll keep you all updated, Jaime. I will be turning in that article for you to publish, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. Well, everyone, thank you all for your contributions tonight. Really loved everyone's participation, and that includes everyone over on YouTube. We had a lot of keyboard warriors on tonight. Hey, we are writing articles on Twitter, and I just published our latest one yesterday about the Liguilla loan lottery. Now, it's not been confirmed if we are going to have teams eligible to bring in players from clubs that are eliminated from Liguilla, since Aguirre will be taking a preliminary roster for training camp. But I did put together some players that would be some pretty solid pickings if that were to be approved. So check that out on our Twitter page. It's pinned. As far as closing thoughts go, look, today we saw what was something surprising. We were very skeptical, very gloomy about our chances in the World Cup, but we saw some moments of brilliance. If it's sustainable over the course of 90 minutes will be the question. And will the fans at one point turn on us as they did against Portugal? Who knows? But we'll have to see as this develops as we get closer to the due dates. For me, I'm looking forward to Sunday nights, which is rare because I usually get the Sunday scaries, but Sunday night will bless us with a Chivas versus Pumas match at 7 p.m. in Guadalajara. And as you can see from these playoff matches, what a great ambiance, what a great world-class stadium. It is one of the few that is ready for a World Cup. The fans are hungry, they're thirsty, they love football, and we're going to have a fantastic match on Sunday night between the number 1 team in Liga MX, Chivas, and 4th place, Pumas. Be there or be square. For now, we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you all and have a good night.